I did not invent the swim drills, but when I was teaching combatives in the Army, I realized I needed a way to very quickly get them ready to spar, because they would often only be there for like 3 months. I couldn't start them out doing traditional karate and then try to get them to yellow belt. I mean, it was not practical. So we did these swim drills, and then I could have them light sparring sometimes the first lesson, definitely after a couple lessons. So that's what we're gonna do first, okay? And if you were here 2 years ago, we did that. If you were in a class that I taught, we would do it like almost all the time. But we're gonna do some different things tonight. I don't wanna talk you to death, but at some point you might go to a seminar, okay? Would you wanna pay 200 bucks to go to a seminar and you're like, dude, everything they did is what we do in class at my school? Would you wanna do that? I mean, that just wasted your money. You wouldn't wanna hate it, but you'd want it to be a little different. So that's kind of what this is. It's a seminar, but it's not costing you $200 for tonight, you know? It's costing you nothing, okay? So, Caleb, come on up. We're gonna start out, Caleb's just gonna feed me a nice light 1-2 punch, and I'm just gonna swim him out of the way. I know this is pretty similar to something that you already do, okay? Now, if you don't swim it far enough, they still can hit you, okay? You really have to redirect, and you can move too, because he's actually taking an aggressive posture towards me with that follow-up punch. 1, 2, all right? What we want to do is keep it going. So he'll go 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. If I've got to move out of the way, then I'm going to move back, because you want to be able to do this no matter what they're doing, okay? Does that make sense? Sure. But you don't have to run them around the room. You could start staying pretty close, and then you could maybe start pressing. And then I'll go, and he has to do the swim drill. See how I'm just standing here, and then I might start pressing. I might come a different way. All right, so find a partner. Whoever's taller will punch first, and the other person will be doing the swimming. Does that make sense?
Sure.
All right, and it's mirror image. Right blocks left, left blocks right. Okay, don't push me this. Okay. All right, so he's punching, and I'm swimming, okay? I can also come this way. It's not as good, but there's only 2 directions. So if I do the best direction, that's awesome. But what if I do the wrong direction? I don't want to be in a situation where like, oh, I've never practiced that and it doesn't work, and I'm just going to get beat up, okay? Basically, this is the wipe on kind of thing, but we're going to shield it a little more so it has a little more strength. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
So he punches 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. And I can very easily switch back to the first one. And of course, no one would ever get in a fight and they'd just be standing there doing that. That'd be the most hilarious fight ever, all right? So, same thing, but you're coming on the inside and you're blocking. Might put a little curve on your hand just to make sure you catch it, okay? Don't punch too hard. We're just trying to build up timing, all right? Do it this way is because this is a lot weaker than this, okay? And some of you seem to gravitate right to something I think you already know, and that was fine. That's still inside. Does that make sense?
Sure.
All right, what we're gonna do next, fairly quickly, is he's gonna start punching, and I'm on the outside, and then I go to the inside, and then I'm on the outside. I just want you to see that you've got the ability to switch back and forth, okay? Does that make sense?
Sure.
Go. All right. All right, just for kicks, no pun intended, he's gonna throw this punch. There is something else I could do. I could do both hands in the same direction. Throw from that hand, okay? And I'm kind of like, I'm no longer really engaged. You really would not have a situation where he goes 1, 2, 1, 2. But that's what I'm gonna make you do. I'm gonna make you stand right there and you bullfight these punches, and you're kind of hitting about right here, okay? Not too close. If you miss one, you still got the other, which is nice, okay? And that's a little harder than if punch again. That's pretty easy. I mean, you're already in a safe zone. But I want you to like that, okay? And you'll find you can do it. And you actually have pretty good power because you've doubled the strength, okay? Go. All right, so she's gonna throw the punch from the rear. Go ahead. Let's go ahead and do that one time. Something that's probably a little more realistic. But you never know. You might find that your body doesn't do what you thought it was gonna do. Maybe there's a table and a chair there. You're out somewhere and some crazy person punches at you and you're like, boom, whoa, I'm still here. And maybe they're taking some kickboxing classes. And here, stick it back there. Here comes this other punch. And you're like, wow, I just actually did that when I was told it would never happen. You don't know what's gonna happen. But I just want you to get one good one. And you're like, oh, I'm ready to, boom, I would have been on you. Because they're kind of like, all of a sudden you disappeared. Does that make sense? All right, so you're gonna punch with the rear hand right at them, and they're just gonna bullfight right out of the way, and go into a fighting stance to the side, and look at how easy it is for you to be ready, okay? Let them do it like 3 times, and then you do it 3 times, but they're one single fire at a time. Go. All right, come in close. Caitlin, come here. Now, the reason I put together a swim drill that's on the outside and on the inside is because you don't know where you're gonna end up. The windshield wiper, I wanted to be where you're pushing them across their center line. Some of you accidentally were on the inside, which was working. You'd rather not be on the inside because sometimes it just doesn't work out. You'd rather, keep going, you'd rather be out here. You'd rather be on the outside. All right. So, all right. So those were the 4 swim drills. Stand up. Doggy paddle. That was the first one. Do it.
Swim drill.
Shielding. That was the second one. Bullfighter. That was the third one. Windshield wiper. That was the 4th one. Okay. All right. Let's move on to kicks. Okay. We did a kick slightly modified this time, and line back up. We'll face the front here. Now, I did not make up kick drills, but this
make 2 lines. 2 lines. Not directly on somebody. Spread out. Good.
When I was putting this together, I realized, well, this is something that every boxer does. Every person has learned 1, 2. And because your hands just kind of float here, you can do that all day long. We can't rifle our feet off like that. And I wanted to try to put something together that was as close as possible, okay? I didn't invent these kicks. I'm not the first person to ever put front kick, side kick together, but I was trying to put in their mind a 1, 2. So it would be natural. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
All right. So what we're going to do, get in your fighting stance. The first thing you're going to do is just kind of block with the knee. Block. All right? And then we're going to do a front kick. Boom. All right? So that's kind of like the first punch. So we've got 1, and then this kind of round side kick. 2. So I'm in here. 1, 2. And I could certainly go 1, 2, but I wanted it to go left, right, left. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. So we're just going to do the front kick and this round side kick. If you turn completely, you can do a side kick, but that takes a little bit longer. So I want to be here, and I'm like, pow, 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 pow. And it's really hard to front kick, front kick, front kick. It just doesn't, it's a very awkward way to go. But front kick, round kick, front kick, round kick works a little bit better. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Don't make them too high. That makes them take longer to come back. Make them have a little bit of a snap. so they come back quickly. Make sense?
Yes, sir.
All right, let me see your rear leg front kick first. Go. Now your rear leg front kick. That's your right leg. Ready? Hi. Do it again. Hi. Hi. All right. Now let me see your front leg round kick. Okay. Switch feet back there. We're going to do the left side next. All right. Front leg round kick. Hi. Right here. We're hitting them in the solar plexus. Gut. Hi. Hi. All right. Now give me the front kick, and then give me the side kick. We're calling that round kick a side kick. Ready? Hi. 1, 2. All right, I'm gonna time you. Ready? Go. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi. So here's 1, here's 2, here's 3. Make sense? 1, 2, 3. All right? That's a real round kick. The first one's kind of like this hybrid kick that we're doing because it's faster than a true side kick. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
All right. Line up. Right leg back. You're going to kick with the right leg, front. Hybrid kick with the front leg. Round kick with the back leg. Right, left, right. Height. 1, 2, 3. Nice. Height. 1, 2, 3. Height. Want to do a different kick every time? When we were punching, we just did 2 punches. Over and over and over. And those are the best 2 punches, all right? I don't know what the best kick is. I mean, there's like 5 candidates that we could use. We need to use all of them, okay? This is never gonna win Punch of the Year. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Or even that, okay? But wouldn't this be a candidate for a kick of the year? Nice tie kick? Well, how about front kick to the face? And we got a lot of queens in this pageant. Does that make sense? All right. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I only tie kick that leg because that's the one that was forward. Switch feet. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 4 kicks in less than 4 seconds. If I said, could you do 4 kicks in 3.8 seconds? You'd probably be like, I don't think so. I think you can. And you probably can shave some of that time off. Okay? Let's give it a shot. What we're going to do, we're going to throw a round kick, shuffle back, front kick. Okay? So round kick, shuffle back, front kick. And then I'll show you what the purpose would be. Ready? Hi. That was pretty good. All right, do one more time. Hi. All right. So we have the advantage of being kickers. So if someone's an aggressive puncher, you might want to use your kicks, okay? An aggressive kicker might be setting themselves up for punches, okay? There are pure punchers out there. Even Taekwondo people are not 100% kickers, but they might lean that way. And you might, I mean, heaven forbid, you're in a real fight with someone that's a trained martial artist, and who knows why this fight has started, and you've realized they're never gonna punch, because maybe you see how they're using their hands, and you're like, wow, their kicks are really good. I'm trying to have a kick battle with them because you're a kickboxer, and maybe it's not going well for you. You got the wrong shoes on, the floor is slippery, but you're like, oh, I forgot, I know how to punch. So we're gonna try to do this versus that, all right? Okay, so we're gonna say Caleb's an aggressive puncher, which he is, all right? Wherever we are in this fight, I throw a round kick, and then he's gonna throw this jab, all right? Almost as soon as I'm kicking, he throws the jab, and he's coming with that next punch, boom, all right? So I'm retreating to set up the second kick. Maybe I thought I was gonna hit him in the head, but he blocks it, boom, keep coming, boom, boom. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
And some of that swim drill stuff can help you maybe not get hit, all right? So we're gonna partner up in a second. So face your fake opponent, round kick, whoa, they're punching at me, front kick. And after that front kick, you might sit down and start punching, but who knows? You might have to shoot and take the leg. You don't know what you're going to do, all right? Do it one more time. Kicks at me, I'm gonna punch, and he needs to step back and front kick. Does that make sense?
Sure.
Let's pretend you're the one getting kicked real quick. Stand here, boom, there's the kick. Here I come with the punches, boom. And I mean, they might not be a trained fighter, they're just coming at you. So round kick, step back, front kick. Got it? Partner up. Don't hurt each other.
Real. Kyoshi, show us one more time the footwork right after your round kick.
All right.
So now watch. If he drops that foot, he can't make this escape. Now this time, Kyoshi, when you kick, just drop the foot, drop. Now he gets hit. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Now watch him try to, when he kicks, the foot drops. Now watch him try to recover and step back if the foot's in the wrong place. Do it wrong again. Quickly try to. You see how he's lost that time? Now watch him. He chooses where the kick foot goes. And he uses it to evade quickly. If you missed that, you get here, you're like here, then you're trying to scramble, you get hit, you're like, well, that didn't work. Yeah, you missed his footwork piece. Big kick, this sets bash, and that's your escape. You put it there intentionally, okay? Don't miss that piece. So all you that are kicking and dropping, not gonna work. You gotta get punched.
So we did it without the partner a couple times. All right, you can use your hands if the punches are coming. Put the hands out there, set down, and they're open because they're punching. Does that make sense?
Sure.
Go. All right, circle up. I don't know if I said it, I think I said it to Renchi. I said, since I can't add to what you're doing, we're gonna do some kicks and tricks, all right? So you may have done something very similar to that. This one's more of a trick, but you never know when a trick might work out for you. And this actually worked very well for me once. It wasn't a fight, it was an aggressive situation. And sometimes you light someone up. You know, sometimes we're just gotta light people up. And they're like, oh, reality. So this is something where you're kind of close, all right? So maybe I've thrown a punch at him, he's thrown a punch at me, and we're kind of in this thing right here. We're like, oh my gosh. I mean, you might not think you're gonna end up in this grabby grab situation, but all of a sudden you're here. I don't know what the situation is. Sometimes the situation is not conducive to doing like a takedown or something like that. You just need to give this person a little something. But maybe he deserves that, but I can't give it to him. There's something called the oblique kick. Right here. And if you've got shoes on, it works pretty well. So when I was in the Army, this sergeant that was very aggressive, he probably shouldn't have done this since I was an officer, but all of a sudden, he kind of looked like, and I was like, am I gonna punch this guy? And I'm wearing boots, so I went, and then he was like, hold on, and he picked up his leg, he's just bleeding, and he goes, you're awesome, LT. That's all he needed. I guess he needed that. He thought he was going to teach me a lesson, and I taught him a lesson. But like 4 days later, he kept showing. He's like, "Look, it's still horrible looking. It's still all cut up." He just thought it was the greatest thing ever. But it had an effect because he couldn't move at me, and he wasn't expecting it. The best way to get knocked out is you don't see it coming. Okay? If you see it coming, you can kind of get ready. Well, I want you to go 1, 2, oblique kick. 1, 2, oblique kick. Does that make sense?
Sure.
All right? It's the bottom of the foot. And if you're barefooted, it is probably not going to work very well. You kind of need to have some kind of sole to hit them with. Does that make sense?
Sure.
All right. Let's face the front real quick. Just right where you are. 1, 2, oblique kick. And this is a great test for balance because we don't normally kick like this. Your toe is pointing that way. And it's the bottom of the foot, okay? All right, partner up. All right, the first two things that we did were using your foot against an aggressive upper body fighter, okay? We did a round kick and poof, they're on us, boom, all right? We're in here, I don't know what's happening, but bam, you gave them something to think about down here. And you were probably too close for any kick other than this, but you do have an option. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's kind of flip the script a little bit here. I know you guys know how to catch a kick, okay? So he throws, I've caught a kick. Obviously we can punch him. Elbow strike, boom, right there, okay? Does that make sense?
Sure.
I don't get knocked out by the guy while you're grabbing. He's kicked, bam, my hand is here. I gotta make sure I don't want to do this. And then he's gonna whack. All right? You got it?
Sir.
All right. So catch the kick, jab, elbow, right to the knee. Okay? You are not gonna break their femur, so you better hit their knee. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
All right. Go. All right. He kicks. Notice I'm this way. If I'm this way, I'm not getting a lot of power here. Does that make sense?
Sure.
All right. He kicks. I've wrapped. Boom. Maybe he punched first. I got to do some blocking. Okay. It's one hand against two. It's a good thing I'm a kung fu master. Boom. Right on that knee. Okay. He still might be punching. Might have to get rid of it and see, like, did it do anything? Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
You can always do some kind of sweep. I know you know 100 of those, all right? But make sure you turn to them on the elbow strike. Got it?
Sir.
Go. All right, Caleb. All right, actually, Avery said something over there that made me think we need to do a quick Tai Chi lesson. She said, I need to work on my balance, okay? I've been doing Tai Chi with Jennifer, and there's a new position I taught her called Golden Rooster, stands on one foot. All right? How long can you stand on one foot? That's what those old traditional systems did, is they made us use these postures that weren't good for fighting, but they actually helped us build balance and footwork and turning. So literally just standing on one leg, even if you got to hold a wall for a few seconds and you let go, you know, finding your center, it could make you a much better kicker. Does that make sense?
Sure.
All right, so try that. All right, let's make it trickier and crazier. All right, here comes the kick. I scooped it. I hit here. Pow! Oh, did I just hit you? You okay?
That's all right.
All right. I heard this sound and I was like, did I just hit him? All right. I'm so sorry, Caleb.
It's okay.
All right. He kicks. Back. And we're here. I'm going slow this time. Boom. So you got to shift this. Now, why would I do something this ridiculous? Because I have to. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
I've caught this thing, and for some reason, I've got to just get out of here. Wham! Does that make sense?
Sir.
All right, give it a shot. See if you can change from one hand to the other and turn and do a back fist. Don't smack the crap out of your My reasoning to do something this ridiculous?
Yeah, dude.
I had to, okay? Let's look at a scenario, all right? He throws a round kick, I catch it, I'm popping, I hit the elbow, and as I'm hitting the elbow, I realize I am just taking bam, bam, bam. Well, do I want to just let go and give him all of his weapons back? All right, so I'm getting the crap beat out of me, and I'm turning. I've got to have the wherewithal to go somewhere else. He's probably not expecting that. He thought I was leaving town. Like, oh, I'm beating this guy up, and now I'm back. If you don't try weird things like that, then you won't be able to do them in a real situation. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
You're riding a Bronco, and you don't know what that thing's gonna do, and you find some way to do it, okay? Ask Wrenchy to tell you his story sometime when he was a paratrooper, and he jumped out of the C-130, and he ended up upside down and went up backwards through the parachute. He should have died, but he had enough sense. Do you think they had trained that? They told him what to do, and he managed to get out of that situation. I'm sure some people don't, you know? You can't always train for the unexpected. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
All right, so line back up. The swim drills, just to kind of show you, like, dude, I'm ready for punches coming at me. I don't need to panic. That's what you don't want to do, is you don't want to panic, all right? We did kicking, left, right, using different kicks, because you don't want them to just like, okay, it's been the same kick 4 times. You're peppering them the same way you do with punches. And obviously there's more than 2 punches. Then we did punches versus kicking, and we did kicking versus punching. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
I know y'all spar a lot. Does he ever have you like, all right, Caitlin, you can only punch, and Caleb, you can only kick?
Yes, sir.
That is just some of the best stuff you can do, because you never know what your situation is going to be. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
All right, it was my pleasure to work here with you. You're in the best dojo you could possibly be in to learn what you're learning. And what you're learning is fighting. And what other reason would you be coming to a kickboxing class? I guess to get in shape. And he's obviously doing that for you as well. So I really appreciated you letting me teach. And if you want to talk to me after class, I will be here. And I'll also be here tomorrow. So thank you very much for being here.